From above, it looks like a place shaped by nature, a ribbon coastline carved by the Atlantic, where rocky cliffs meet a working harbor and a village that has welcomed visitors for generations.
There honestly is something for everybody here.
This is Ogunquit, a southern Maine getaway where one of the best ways to experience it begins with a walk along the water on the Marginal Way.
It's just an incredible spot to just really appreciate the beauty of nature around us.
The 1.2-mile path connects downtown Ogunquit to Perkins Cove.
At this point, if you've watched from downtown, you've probably been on the path for about an hour.
A winding walkway along the cliffs where every turn offers another view.
Where it starts and ends depends entirely on your perspective and where you've parked your car.
It's one of the most popular ways to experience the town, and for many visitors, it's the first stop when they arrive.
That's when people will come into our Welcome Center and say, how do we get to the Marginal Way? Which is the #1 question, followed only by who has the best lobster roll.
Eventually, the path opens up to one of Ogunquit's most recognizable spots, Perkins Cove, a postcard harbor where boats still pass through.
Is this still a working drawbridge?
It certainly is. We're actually right in the middle of it right now. They walk, they'll have something to eat, they'll go in and out of the shops, check out all the shops, do a lot of window shopping, maybe some, maybe they'll find some cool souvenirs to take home.
After all that walking comes another Maine tradition, lobster at Chronicle Billy's.
This is the quintessential Maine lobster experience. Billy Tower started this place in 1961.
More than 6 decades later, the view remains part of the recipe.
It seems that the most popular fare these days is the lobster roll and a rum punch. People love to sit here and look at the boats for the afternoon and enjoy lobster rolls.
The menu keeps things simple. Fresh lobster served the way you like it, right from the tank.
All the lobsters are separated by weight here. We got 1.5 pounds, 1.25 pounds, 1.75 pounds, 2 pounders, and 3+ here.
So how long does it take start to finish?
20 minutes.
Order number 24, order 24.
And hope I don't drop it by the time I get to the table.
Ogunquit offers places designed to make you feel like you never have to leave. Places like the WMUR Inn. It's preparing to celebrate 90 years of welcoming guests.
Tried to keep it feeling homey and yet providing all the things that people want when they come and travel these days.
Tucked along the ocean, the WMUR is a quiet corner where guests can disconnect and enjoy the coastline at their own pace.
It's very secluded, very quiet here. You're in the middle of Ogunquit. You're not going to hear anything but the birds and the ocean, and maybe a wedding or two, but it's very private. So that's what we really key in on, because people need that quiet time these days.
You can see the ocean from every grove.
We put in the biggest windows we could find because we wanted people to be able to see the water. That was the point of being here. And then in the bedroom back there, it's just a whole wall of windows. But this room, people will book literally 18 to 24 months in advance.
Long before Ogunquit became a summer getaway, it was a destination for artists. The coastline, the light, the landscape all drew painters here more than a century ago.
We have a patron who used to describe growing up as a child in the 1940s in Ogunquit that the town smelled like fish and oil paint.
Many artists built small studios and shacks along the shore, creating a community that helps define Ogunquit's identity today. A connection between art and nature that continues at the Ogunquit Museum of American Art.
It's located on 3 incredible acres of gardens and grounds, literally perched on a cliff overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, and its history.
A place where visitors can experience works by artists like Joe Wardwell and the very view that inspired it.
I'm not trying to tell people what my work is about. I want them to kind of discover and think about what it means to them more than a defined meaning for me.
Ogunquit's creativity jumps off the page and onto the stage at the storied Ogunquit Playhouse.
It's
always been kind of a bit of the town and the Playhouse grew up together.
From its origins as a small community playhouse to now one of the country's largest regional theaters.
People come to the Ogunquit Playhouse to have a great time, to have a sparkly cocktail, to see an incredible show, to be around their families, maybe where their grandparents took them or a place they want to bring their families. But to know that the industry embraces our community and trusts us with their work.
Sometimes the perfect ending to a day in Ogunquit is one more song around the piano at the front porch. Ogunquit remains a place where the views bring you in, the tradition keeps you coming back, and the memories are what you take home.
The most important thing about this community is its charm. And so we work very diligently to keep that charm in place because we know that's what keeps bringing people back here.